Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sawdust Diaries. This one's going to be a little bit different. It's not necessarily about carving, but it's about how to maybe save boards that you didn't think you could save. Maybe you've come across something like this. This is just a scrap piece that I'm using, but we had much bigger pieces of this, of blue pine, and had a ton of wormholes in it. And those can be really difficult to deal with. I'm going to show you how you can use those to your advantage and be able to fix them and make them look pretty cool. That will add extra value to your sign and give it just a really cool look. So sometimes you'll have these wormholes that are deep, but they're not super deep. If you were using a CA glue, it's going to take you forever, even if it's black or brown or whatever, it's going to take you forever to fill that up. So I'm going to show you a way that you can take a hole literally that's all the way through. This is a trick that I learned from my buddy over in Vegas, Andrew at Reclaim Secrets. So I'm going to show you how you can fill this using sawdust and resin. I've actually pre-mixed up some epoxy resin here. I'm going to throw some sawdust in a little Dixie cup. We don't need a bunch, but we need enough. Maybe a little bit more. Probably won't use that all. So it's just sawdust off of my sander or grinder. It's pretty fine, and that's definitely what you want, is fine. But now here's the thing that Andrew taught me that I never thought about. What we're going to do is we're going to color that sawdust. So we're going to actually have something that rather than trying to hide those holes, we're going to make those holes kind of a highlight. Not long ago I did some walnut signs and I put green epoxy in there and it looked pretty cool. But now what we're going to do, rather than just the epoxy, we're going to make a sawdust that is colored. And so you can do it with blue, you can do it with red, you can do it with green, whatever you want to do. This is just that mica powder, and you can make it as dark or as light as you want. I kind of like that blue. I think that'll look pretty cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this resin, and it's starting to warm up because I poured it a couple minutes ago. I'm going to just pour some in there. You just kind of have to go by eyeball. I'm going to mix that up and I'm going to make a paste out of it. And the idea is that if you make a paste, then you don't have to fill the whole thing front to back. If there's air in the middle, who cares? That's just going to be a air in the middle of the board. That's not going to matter to you. But see how that's kind of a consistent paste right there. I think I'll just put a little bit more in. So now you've got a paste. I'm going to add a little bit more because I do want it pretty thick. The idea is that you're going to fill the top maybe quarter, 3/8, ½ inch of that hole, and the paste is going to be thick enough that it won't fall back down in there. And actually, before I put that in, I'm going to go ahead just in case, and I'm going to put tape on the back side. I'm going to tape off this back side. I'm not as worried about it going all the way through, but what I think that will do is create kind of an air barrier so this stuff may not sink all the way in there. And that's the whole point. You want to make it thick enough that you can push it down in there and fill that top part. I'm going to try not to get any over the edge. Now when Andrew does it, all he needs is just the top 1/16th, maybe 1/8 of an inch, because he's not doing any carving on his. You can see that I'm just forcing that stuff down in there. And then I'll leave it a little proud on the surface so that after this stuff dries, and the thing about pouring this a few minutes ago, it's already starting to heat up. It's already starting to kind of stabilize. And the quicker it stabilizes now, the better off we are, because then the less chance that it's going to fall down in there even further. But I think when this thing is all sanded off, then you'll have a really cool little blue highlight in there. And again, you can do blue, red, green, whatever color you want. But if I was trying to do that with CA glue, it would just take forever to fill that thing up. All right, guys, so now we're just gonna let this thing sit for 24 hours. We'll come back tomorrow, sand it off, and see what it looks like. So hang with me, we'll be right back. All right, guys, it has been about 24 hours, something like that. But check this out. This is something I didn't expect, but I wanted to give you guys a tip on this. So when I put this stuff in here, I left it kind of proud, but it's still kind of recessed a little bit here. I think it's still going to be fine. Once I sand it off, it'll be back to the surface. But just leave yourself some extra there. I wish I'd have left a little bit more. It's nice and solid, and I think it'll be flat, but leave more in there than it looks like you need. All right, I'm going to use my disc sander with a 60 grit. Let's see what this thing looks like. Okay, so I also did a 120 finish sand with my random orbital. Let's just throw some clear on there and see what that blue looks like. So I'm happy with the way this thing came out. Again, it was just a test, just to prove the theory, but it proved exactly how I hoped it would. The point is that you can do a fill like this on something that's super deep and you don't have to fill it all the way to the bottom. This thing is still mostly open on the back side, but it doesn't really matter. You can fill to the bottom, but you definitely don't need to. Making a paste like that, it stays just on the top. It doesn't sink down in there, and you only have to do maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch deep. But anyway, this proved the theory that Andrew had taught me when I was over in Las Vegas. So anyway, guys, I hope this is helpful. I hope this is something that you might use when you have these issues on boards that will turn scrap into something that you can use and actually have a really cool look, because you can add some highlights to it that wouldn't be there if it didn't have any defects or knot holes or wormholes or whatever. So anyway, guys, if you have questions, let me know. Eric@makeawoodsign.com. Thanks again, and don't forget, all of the supplies are over at the website, makeawoodsign.com. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.